I'm with Violet Gergich from Gergich Hills Winery in Yountville, old friend of mine, and we're here to talk a little bit about sustainable agriculture, something I know that's near and dear to your heart. You want to tell me a little bit, what is sustainable agriculture?
Well, sustainable agriculture is basically feeding the soil and feeding the plant with everything that comes from it. So everything that goes into the land comes back and goes into it. So we are actually call this biodynamics. And it not only is a method of using compost, using natural cover crops, but also making sure that the vine itself is as healthy as possible. So when the vine itself is naturally healthy, it not only withstands diseases, but it produces grapes that are very rich in flavor, very concentrated, and very much of that particular soil and area.
Isn't there risk involved in that? Because if it's a very hot summer or it rains late, of mildew or mold or problems in the vineyards that chemicals would normally help you with?
Actually, chemicals make things worse. When you use chemicals, they weaken the vine, and the vine then becomes much more susceptible to both pests and mildew and diseases. But if your grapes are naturally, and vines are naturally healthy, then they actually don't get mildew as much.
Oh.
They don't get affected by pests. So we're seeing our neighbors who use conventional farming have much more mold and mildew than we do. And we seem to be doing quite well.
Are you able to get your neighbors involved in this and maybe get your neighbors to move over to become more sustainable also?
That would be nice in the future, but I think for the most part, vintners do tend to work a lot together. But I think when you're used to doing things a certain way, you really have to see the evidence,
I understand.
which is what we've seen.
And tell me about this Cabernet we're going to taste now. It's the 2002
Yountville Selection Cabernet. This comes from the very first patch of land that we actually started using biodynamic farming on.
And how long have you been doing that?
We've been doing that since 2002. And this particular section is planted in 1959 and was planted on a rootstock that withstood phylloxera. So the vines are very old and produce a small crop, but it's very rich and very concentrated. This wine is made in a style that we're very well known for, which is one of balance and elegance and food friendliness. The wines aren't as huge as maybe many other Cabernets, but we want them to be smooth and drinkable and yet have that firm and supple structure that will enable them to age for a long time.
So you get good fruit in the nose, but it's not overpowering.
No. And this wine, once opened, will actually continue to expand and grow and become more and more complex, both in flavor and in aroma over the course of the evening.
It's rich. I'm getting some sweet fruit, a lot of acidity,
Yes.
but it's not overpowering.
No. Acidity is very important to all of our wines because for wine to go with food, if it doesn't have enough acid, the wine quickly becomes very flat and not very interesting.
That's also part of the balance you get. When you have enough fruit and you got good acidity in the finish, it makes it taste better and also last longer.
It does.
Anything else you want to tell me about your dad? How's he doing?
Oh, my dad's doing great. He's 83. Came over from Croatia back in 1958 and started at the very bottom and actually was the winemaker who won the Paris tasting. He made the Montelena Chardonnay that won in '76.
And one of my favorite Chardonnays now is Gergich Hills Chardonnay.
Well, thank you. Thank you. But he's doing wonderfully.
Right, and thanks for coming to New Jersey and
Thank you so
visiting
much,
us.
Gary.
Cheers.
Always a pleasure.
Thank you.
Živjeli, as we say in Croatian.
Thank you.
Thank you.